Omnibuses, man, they just hit different. So, Batman by Grant Morrison, Omnibus Volume 1 collects all the first part of Grant Morrison's Batman run. This includes stories like Batman R.I.P. and Batman Son of Batman, which is the first introduction to the character of Damian Wayne. This omnibus was absolutely great in my opinion. Grant Morrison is such a good Batman writer and he really knows what he's doing with the character. I loved reading this, and especially way back in the 80s, his Batman Arkham Asylum comic is like peak Grant Morrison Batman, but this is a close second to that. It's just full of loads of great different stories. Like I said, you've got solid Batman and Batman R.I.P. But there's also a lot of great smaller issues, like kind of back issues. And there's stuff like you've got like a murder mystery with a bunch of vigilantes all trapped in the one building, which was just such a fun story to read. And introduced to, well, not introduced, they've been introduced before, but it showed you a lot of great, interesting new characters who don't really get a lot of recognition in DC. And that's what this comic done a great job of doing. It took a lot of like characters and villains from like way deep in Batman's Rose Gallery and brought them into this new light, which I thought was awesome because I've personally never heard of a lot of these characters in this book, and I was so happy when I seen them because Grant Morrison done such a good job with them. Although we do have a lot of great side characters, the most important question is how is Batman written in this comic? And my answer to that is he's written so well in it. There's a point in the comic where Batman actually finds like complete happiness in himself after a trip to Nanda Parbat, and it really like from that point, from before that, he acts a lot differently with people. He acts a lot different as Batman. He interacts with like Alfred, Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, and Damian Wayne. He interacts with them a lot differently. And it was just such a good, like, kind of like to see Batman in. So I felt like it was quite different because usually every other Batman story he is broody, but in this he actually seemed quite happy, and it was quite an interesting take because it was interesting to see how he approaches being Batman differently because while he still uses that fear, it was kind of a bit more like not I'm not gonna say quippy, but it would kind of hit out some like more one-liners every once in a while, which kind of came out of nowhere. But because he was just like this happier version of Batman, it was getting to a point where it was like distinguishing Bruce Wayne from Batman was a bit difficult, which I thought was awesome because it kind of showed how much this changed, and all these characters around him are noticing this, and they're like, is this really a good thing? Is he really happy, or is there something else going on? Which is a great mystery in itself as well. Because there are a lot of things that are happening to Bruce Wayne in this comic that just seem like a little too good to be true. And it, like I said, it completely changes how he is as Batman and Bruce Wayne and his interactions with others. And it was so interesting to see, and the mystery getting unravelled in it was awesome because Batman, like, he's also questioning himself because he's a detective and that's his job is to question things. And he's questioning himself, like, is this right? Why am I feeling the way I am? Because everything's just going too well in my life, and it causes him to actually kind of go back to being this brooding Batman as well because he's scared now that everything's too good in his life. And I thought it was awesome and like great take on Batman in my opinion. And like I said, we get the introduction to Damian Wayne in this book as well. Who, when I was kind of first introduced to him, because I don't really know much about Damian Wayne. I have read like, a lot of Batman comics, but I've not read a lot of stuff with Damian Wayne in it. But when it comes to like him in his book, at first he is a wee asshole, and it's kind of hard to like him. But throughout the book, you start to like him more and more, and his relationship with Bruce Wayne improves gradually, and not only with Bruce Wayne, but the rest of the Bat family in general, which I thought was great to see. And it's almost as if like they are finally accepting him as the book goes on, and he's finally accepting them and accepting who he is, while also still being like this wee asshole that's just swinging about a sword as well, which was pretty awesome in my opinion. And not only is the story and characters really good in this book, but the artwork is insane as well. It actually gets done by a bunch of different writers because it's Grant Morrison's one throughout the years, but the artwork consistently stays really well done. Although there's like one story where it's like 3D artwork, which I really couldn't get into. I enjoyed the story, but the kind of artwork kind of threw me off a little. But the artwork in this book is insane. Instead of me just telling you, I'd rather show you. You look at that, and it is just stunning to look at. And each like page and panel and frame is just honestly great. The colours are like really eye popping in it as well. You have a lot of great pages like this, which I thought were awesome. And the action sequences in the book as well are insane. And I just like, it's pages like that I love, and it's just like Batman full screen. I just really personally love it, and I thought the book was just so easy to get through, and each page just blew me away. Also, another thing I want to point out is that this slip cover comes off. I'll show you right now. So you take that off, and you get this as well, which I think just looks amazing, and it just looks stunning in itself. Like, I love the artwork and I love the cover art as well, but this just looks amazing. And obviously it says there, Batman by Grant Morrison, and it is honestly, I'm in love with it. If you haven't read this, I highly recommend you go check it out because it's such a good Batman run. And I've been trying to find like a good Batman run for a while because I've only kind of read like just like kind of standalone Batman graphic novels. I've not sat and read a proper Batman run apart from the first half of the New 52, which I'm going back and finishing as well. But this was a great place for me to go, and I was so happy I chose it because Grant Morrison is one of my favourite writers, and the fact he's from Glasgow, just like me as well, just kind of makes it a bit softer for me. And I want to go and read more of his stuff. But I'm so happy I came across this. I've seen it on Amazon and kind of asked my girlfriend for it for Valentine's Day. But I'm so happy I did because it is such a great series, and if you're looking for a Batman one to get into, I highly recommend this. This is a great omnibus for anyone. Like if someone who just wants to get into comic books, just wants to get into Batman for the first time, this is a great place to start. And honestly, like it does a good job of introducing you to each of the Bat family as well, which I thought was great. And I was personally really happy with this comic. Guys, if you read the Batman Omnibus by Grant Morrison, if you have, let me know in the comments what you thought of it. And if you haven't read it, let me know if you have a plan on reading it. Just let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, smash the subscribe button for more nerdy content like reviews and recommendations. And be sure to check out my other videos if you haven't yet.